ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये दोर्भिर्युक्ता चतुर्भिस्फटिकमणिमयीम् अक्षमालां दधाना हस्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितमपि च शुकं पुस्तकं चापरेण भासा कुन्देन्दुशङ्क स्फटिकमणिनिभा भासमाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवदेयं निवसतु वसने निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं। नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। Okay, so let's start now. So finally what happens is Guha, he meets Bharata's army. So if you remember last time, Bharata, the queens and all the people of Ayodhya, they go out in search of Rama, and on the way they meet Guha. So initially Guha feels that when Bharata is approaching with a huge army, he feels that he has come to attack Rama, but ultimately later he realizes that actually Bharata has come to take Rama along with him back to Ayodhya. So now initially Guha feels that a great army has come, so he prepares himself, his entire army, to face and to fight with Bharata. नावां शतानां पञ्चानां कैवर्तानां शतं शतं सन्नद्धानां तथा यूनां तिष्ठन्त्वित्यभिचोदयत्. Now Guha, he was one of the Nishadas. So therefore what he did was, he told, let 500 boats, each of these boats should have 100 young fishermen. Everyone should be ready to attack the army. So basically a lot of fisheries also he was engaged in that. So he made arrangements for about 500 boats, and each boat should have about 100 fishermen in them. Yada dushtastu bharataha ramasyeha bhavishyati seyam swastimati sena ganga madhya tarishyati. In case Bharata is not having any evil feeling towards Rama, then this entire army will safely cross the Ganga river today itself with our help. That is, we have made arrangements for a lot of boats also. So in case Bharata has got a good intention, then surely we will help him. Otherwise, you be ready to attack. Next, Sarga 85, Guha gets a clear picture of Bharata's intentions. So Bharata he inquires a lot about Rama, and then he asks how he can reach Bharadwaja's ashrama. Now Guha also does not exactly know where Rama, Lakshmana and Sita have gone. He just knows that they have crossed the river Ganga and moved further. There they have reached the ashrama of Bharadwaja. Beyond this, Guha does not have any information. So Bharata, he follows the same path as told by Guha, and he keeps proceeding further and he tries to find out the whereabouts. He reaches Bharadwaja's ashrama. So Bharadwaja tells next where he went. And the next sage said where he went, and that's how finally he gets to know about where exactly Rama is, that is in Chitrakuta. So finally Bharata asks everything, Guha asks everything. He comes to know that Bharata's intentions are not wrong, they are very pure. He has come with the intention of taking back Rama back to Ayodhya. So it is night time now, so Bharata is resting. Meanwhile, Guha asks a few questions. कच्चिन्न दुष्टो व्रज्रासी रामस्य क्लिष्टकर्मणः इयं ते महती सेना शङ्कां जनयतीव मे. He says, don't you have the evil intention of causing some harm to Rama? Because you have come with a very huge army, so that's why this doubt is coming in my mind. Tam nivartayitum yami kakutstam vanavasinam buddhiranya nate karya guhas satyam bravimite. So Bharata replies that I'm telling you the truth. I've come to take back Rama back to Ayodhya and nothing more. So you don't think of anything else. Meanwhile, what happens is Bharata and Guha, they spend the night together. So what is the conversation? So Guha tells him everything what was happening. So if you remember, initially we had seen that same when Rama, Lakshmana and Sita had also visited Guha, the entire night Lakshmana was awake. So Lakshmana and Guha were having a conversation, and same thing, whatever they spoke, the same events. Now Guha is relating all that to Bharata. And basically now Lakshmana was very angry, so therefore he had a lot of not evil intentions. He had few thoughts about the people of Ayodhya, the mothers and so on, that whatever has happened is so evil. So listening to all this, and Lakshmana was still considering Bharata to be his enemy, because and even then, even before when he reaches Chitrakuta, Lakshmana gets the news. There also he is quite angry because he feels that maybe this is Bharata's plot only, along with his mother Kaikeyi. So therefore Bharata feels very bad that my own brother Lakshmana is also thinking this way. But it is but natural that a person will do in case such a thing happens. So the same thing Bharata thinks, and he feels very sad. And further he asks Guha, what did Rama do, where did they sleep, what did they eat, what did they drink, and so on. Guha narrates everything, and thinking of all this, Bharata starts grieving. He gets emotional. Rajendra Kumar ji, want to ask something?
Yeah. Here it says Kausalya consoles him. But has Kausalya has also come with along?
Yes,
Bharata?
all the mothers have also come. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, as you, I told you, when Dasharatha had passed away, also when Bharata goes and first he goes and meets Kaushalya, at that time also Kausalya consoles him, saying that she doesn't feel bad. And now there are references in the Valmiki Ramayanam that say to some extent that Kaushalya has some intentions, like just as a normal person would do. Like the thoughts come, how come Bharata do this and so on. But there are some folklores which say that though she had those thoughts, now it is, if someone does something wrong, automatically such evil thoughts come in, right? To our mind also, not exactly evil, but negative thoughts. Why did that person do so? Or we start thinking evil about the person. Same thing came about in the mind of Kaushalya too, but she did not tell that outside. And later what happened was, when Bharata really comes and meets Kaushalya after Dasharatha had passed away, he feels that Kaushalya might not talk to him and so on. But then Kaushalya consoles him and says that I feel today very bad, not because my son has gone to the forest, but that is one reason, but mainly because your father, in spite of having 4 sons, during his last days, none was there near him, and even after he has died, he is still waiting for the last rites to be done. So good that now you have come, you can do everything nicely. Yes. Next, Guha tells what exactly Rama, Lakshmana, Sita do. Lakshmanena samanitam pitva vari mahayashaha aupavasyam tadakarshir ragavassaha Sitaya. So they performed a lot of austerities. Lakshmana used to bring water, and Rama and Sita used to consume only that. Tatastu jalasheshena Lakshmanopyakarot tada vagyataste trayas sandhyam samupasata samhitaha. So then, after Rama and Sita had consumed water, Lakshmana also drank whatever was remaining, and this is how they did a lot of sandhya austerities and so on. So basically, like ascetics, they were fully engrossed in worship. So now Bharata, he has to spend the night there with Rama, with Guha. Only the next day they can leave. So that's when Bharata inspects the entire place. He sees where Rama, Lakshmana, Sita stays and so on. And then he develops desire, his wishes Rama should return back to Ayodhya and become the king. And when he sees now such a great king born to again a very great king Dasharatha, and Rama also is a prince, in fact a very good king, or you can consider the very good person. Here now you don't have reference to Rama as God anywhere, because Rama Avatara is Naravatara. So Bharata feels that his elder brother, though he considers him to be equal to God or his own guru, but still Bharata, he feels like a man or my elder brother. He says that he was such a good person and destiny has played his role that the prince has to sleep on the bare ground, that too on grass and so on. So this is how life has changed for him, and thinking about all this, Bharata feels bad. अश्रद्धेयमिदं लोके न सत्यं प्रतिभाति मा मुह्यते खलु मे भावः स्वप्नोऽयमिति मे मतिः. Bharata says that all this seems to me like a dream or so, that such a thing has ever happened to Rama, that too through the hands of his own mother. नूनं दैवतं किञ्चित् कालेन बलवत्तरं यत्र दाशरथी रामो भूमावेव शयीतसः. He says that Dasharatha's son Rama, he had to sleep on this ground when he actually deserved the throne, he actually deserved to be the prince, he actually was to become the next king of Ayodhya. But then the Lord himself, you see, though he was an incarnation here, he himself, if he had to rest on the ground, then in the case of all of us, you don't have to think about destiny also. And here he says that Kalaha, or time, destiny, is the most strongest that happens. How it can change anyone's life, we never know. So therefore, even if the Lord also has to come, he too has to face destiny. Just as here Rama, though he is an avatar of Lord Vishnu himself, it doesn't mean that he enjoyed all the pleasures of life. He too had to experience everything. In fact, a great king sleeps on the floor also. That too, he was banished from the kingdom. Overnight things have changed. So through this, what we get to know is how things can change rapidly, we never know. So destiny is something which is very, very mightier. But at the same time, now here you must notice one thing. It doesn't mean that we leave everything in the hands of destiny. Now many people have this habit, right? No, it is destiny. See, it is destiny when you don't put in efforts. When you don't put in efforts, we blame everything on destiny. Now, in spite of putting your 100% efforts, still things are not working. Maybe then you will surely get the result, but maybe there is some delay happening. So that is a different part. But without doing anything, if you just sit simply and keep blaming, no, this is there in my destiny, this is what has to happen, then things will never happen that way. Even
excuse me, 1 minute. That means you have to use your free will
correct.
to overcome destiny.
Right. So just because we don't want to put in efforts, we just sit and blame destiny. No, this is what it has to happen. I accept that and so on. Instead of it, we don't consider it to be maybe a good beginning or so, or something like a turning point which seemed out to be good. Like here also, just as Rama. Now it doesn't mean that he stopped putting efforts. Now in the case of Rama, though it was injustice, he felt that it was quite legal because Dasharatha had promised 2 boons already to Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi, though what she asked was wrong, but ultimately it was something which was given to her, right? And Dasharatha had told, whenever you want, given her 2 boons. Kaikeyi said, whenever I feel like, I will ask. So legally, if you see, she was also right. What she asked was obviously wrong. It led to sins and so on. But that was how destiny, because later Ravana had to be killed. So the purpose had to be served. But then, from her point of view, what Kaikeyi asked was legal. She was only given 2 boons. As per her condition, she asked whenever she felt so. And Dasharatha had to give that. Then why did Rama follow this? What Kaikeyi did was wrong, right? Then why did he accept this destiny? Because his father had promised her. She asked what she had already got. She did not break any rules also. What she asked doesn't matter here. But then Rama felt that if I do not keep the promise, people will keep names to my father Dasharatha, that he has given boons to his queen but he did not follow. Then people will also keep names to me that my father, he could not fulfill the wishes of his wife. The same you can say the same tradition has come to me also. I am not fulfilling the boons or the orders of my father. So I don't want this to happen. Whatever, once a word is given, there should be value to that. There should be a value to the promise that we make. So that is the reason here Rama readily agrees to go to the forest as told by his father. And automatically Lakshmana and Sita also follow. So here also when we say destiny, now say for example, even the later incident that comes, that is Sita's abduction. Rama does not sit and cry, though he cries for some time. Now you see the way he cries, if you have to experience this, later we will see Aranyakanda, how Rama expresses his sorrow. There are 2 or 3 sargas. I think after 50, 60s or so, in that it comes. I think from the 60s onwards, Aranyakanda, 60th sarga onwards, you have how Rama expresses his sorrow. He doesn't know whom to talk to. He talks to mountains, he talks to rivers, he talks to even animals, it seems. And he tells, and in fact at one point of time, he tells and he assumes that Sita is there around me. He calls out to Sita like a mad person. He runs here and there. He calls out to Sita and tells her, I feel you're hiding from me. Don't play with me. I cannot bear it anymore, and so on. So he stoops down to this level. Now here, if someone from us, if we do like this, we'll call people mad, right? Oh, he's a mad person. He just wants to run behind his wife. He doesn't do anything else, right? But then in the case of Rama, why does he express his sorrow this way? Is to tell and to show the world that the respect and the affection that we have for one's own partner or any relationship is very, very important. And here in the case of Rama, why the sorrow is doubled is it was his responsibility. They were not there in the palace. They had come to the forest. Sita was not given the condition that she has to come to the forest. She had followed Rama. It was Rama's responsibility to take care of her, and that too. Now he doesn't know where is Sita. So just as maybe our own child or maybe even a thing of us, maybe a small thing gets lost, we keep worrying and we keep grumbling, right? So here you just imagine Sita herself has gone somewhere. Where she has gone, what she does, Rama doesn't know. Rama behaves like a madman almost. You must read it later also, we'll see. So there, when you read all that, almost 2-3 sargas describes the sorrow of Rama, and we feel that Valmiki is over exaggerating, but it seems that Rama did that way. He didn't know what to do, but then still Lakshmana at every point of time he says, you have to come out of this and let us find out a way. But still, so though he expressed his sorrow, though he blamed destiny, does not blame destiny, you can say he accepted what happened in destiny, but still he does not stop putting in efforts. That's the reason later they made Jatayu, Kabanda, Sugriva and so on. With the help of monkeys, they fight with Ravana and ultimately they get back Sita. So destiny had to happen, things had to change, problems had to come. Rama does feel sorry. He does feel that his destiny is playing against me and so on. And even there are instances in the Ramayana, Aranyakanda, which says, I think it's Sarga 70 or 71, wherein Rama does blame his destiny. He says that as if all the evil things in the world, from all the destinies of people all over, and all the evil things that has to happen with everyone, all that has been included in my kundali. This is what he says, statement he makes. But then that is, he feels very bad in that sorrow. Sometimes we also say, right, all the dukkha in this world has come upon me. So the same thing here Rama also feels, but that doesn't mean that he stops putting in efforts or he doesn't come out of that. He feels bad like a normal human being. Now it is human, right, to feel bad or to feel happy also. Same thing happens with Rama, but he surely finds out a way to come out of that. So here when we say that destiny or time is mightier, we have to note one thing, that though that is there, it doesn't mean that we are fully engrossed in that and you don't find a solution at all. You give up everything. That should not be done. So therefore, though it is human nature to feel bad or to feel happy, but one fine day we have to come out of that. We should not stop putting in efforts. So Bharata also feels very bad that how things have changed. Next, further what happens is Bharata, he requests Guha that you please help us cross over the river, and using those 500 boats which he had made arrangements initially, Guha helps them, and then Bharata, he sets out to meet Bharadwaja in his ashrama. Next, Bharadwaja and Vasishtha, both they meet ashrama, they speak to each other, and then the sage Bharadwaja asks, why have you come here, and so on. And Bharata says, I've come to take back Rama with him, and at that time Bharadwaja informs that Rama along with Lakshmana and Sita is living in Chitrakuta. He says that you stay here overnight and then you go. So now Bharadwaja, how he questions, Atosmi yadivamevan bhagavan api manyate matto na doshamashanke naivam ma manushastuhi. Now here Bharadwaja, before he asks something, he gives like a disclaimer. He says that I know that it can lead to misunderstandings also, but still I am asking. There is no danger or dangerous situation, but still I know what are the feelings that are there in your heart for Rama, but still I'm just inquiring what exactly are your intentions, why have you come here, just to confirm, that's it. And this will further lead to your fame. Next, Jane Chaitanya जाने चैतन्मनस्तं ते दृढीकरणमस्त्विति अपृच्छन्तां तथार्थ्यर्थं कीर्तिं समभिवर्धयन्, your fame will increase. Why does Bharadwaja tell this? Because people lifelong would remember. If there was any other normal person or so, if they had got the kingdom, they would have readily accepted it and been more than happy, right? Good, I have got my share of kingdom. When will Rama rule? When will I get it? So instead of all that, it's better that I get the kingdom, I'll be happy. But Bharata does not do that. He wants his elder brother only to become the king, and he's putting efforts to bring back his brother. Bharadwaja then he offers food and everything to Bharata, and then Bharadwaja then what happens is Bharadwaja has a lot of yogic powers, and he prays to Vishwakarma because there are many guests who have come to feed all of them. He makes food arrangements, and the entire party of Bharata, all of them were enjoying, they were having a nice time. That basically good food was offered to them. अथोवाच भरद्वाजो भरतं प्रहसन्निव जाने त्वां प्रीति संयुक्तं तुष्ये त्वं येन केनचित्. Bharadwaja then he tells Bharata with a small smile that I know that whatever is offered to you, you are very much contented, you are full of love and affection. सैनायास्तु तवैतस्याः कर्तुमिच्छामि भोजनं मम प्रीतिर्यथा रूपा तथार्हो मनुजर्षभ. It is my wish to offer hospitality and food to all of you and your entire army. This will make me very happy, and I hope you will also accept it. So basically he seeks permission, or you can say he requests Bharata that this is what is there in my mind, so therefore I request you to accept things. Then Bharadwaja, lot of variety of food, he prays to Vishwakarma. Ihame Bhagavan Somo Vidatta Vannamuttamam Bhaksham Bhojyam Cha Chosyam Cha Lehyam Cha Vividam Bahu. He prays to the moon god and says that you give me excellent food of all kind, solid, liquid, soft, then things that are to be licked, that are to be sucked, and so on. So all types of food. Vichitrani cha malyani padapa prachyutani cha suradini cha peyani mamsani vividhani cha. Let there be many colored garlands of fresh flowers, trees, other drinks, meat, and so on. Now here one question will come: why drinks, why meat? Now there will be people belonging to all castes, all sects, or you can more than caste and sex, let's consider communities, right? So there can be people who eat or drink, they have their own habits. So basically to satisfy everyone, Bharadwaja prays that let there be food of all kinds, whatever anyone wants you can consume as you wish. तत्र राजासनं दिव्यं व्यजनं छत्रमेव च भरतो मन्त्रभिः सार्धम् अभ्यवर्तत राजवत्. Now basically food arrangements was one part, then there was a lot of royal treatment also being given to Bharata, that's fans, a big throne and so on, where Bharata he lived in the company of ministers. So basically sage Bharadwaja he showed a lot of hospitality and respect for Bharata. आसनं पूजयामास रामाय विप्रणम्य च वालव्यजनमादाय न्यषीदत् सचिवासने. But now Bharata, what he did was, even though a throne was kept for him, he did not accept the throne, he did not sit on the throne. In fact, he worshipped the throne, thinking that as if Rama is sitting there, and then the fan that was kept for him. So usually you see in those olden times you have those fan. Even today you go to temples or so, the yak's tail like fan that we have. And he sat in the minister's seat because he felt that the throne was not meant for him, it was for only Rama. So this shows the character of Bharata. Here nobody is going to question him even if Bharata sits on the throne, right? Nor Rama also. Rama himself is also not going to tell him anything. Kaushalya is also not going to tell him. Even the sage also will not tell anything. But still, not because someone has to tell or not because someone is watching me, it shows the character of Bharata, how Bharata's good qualities were being seen here, that he has so much of respect and affection towards Rama, that only Rama should be the king, no one else. So even in his absence, even though nobody is going to tell or question me anything, still I must have that respect for Rama because this seat on the throne is reserved only for Rama. Next, नैवायोध्यां गमिष्यामः न गमिष्याम दण्डकान् कुशलं भरतस्यास्तु रामस्यास्तु तथा सुखम्. Now, an average person, or now why this statement has been made is, there were some people in the state of Ayodhya saying that we'll stay here only because here we are getting all kinds of food. So basically you can consider like people like us, wherein you get some desires also fulfilled. We feel that we should stay in this place only, we should continue doing the same thing. That is something what we call as our comfort zone. So once we are set inside the comfort zone, it becomes very difficult, or rather we don't feel like coming out of that. So the same thing a few people start thinking is, we don't want to go back to Ayodhya nor we want to proceed further. We don't want to enter the Dandaka forest also. May Bharata and Rama be happy wherever they are. We will stay here only in Bharadwaja's ashrama and be very happy because we are getting a lot of hospitality, good food and everything. Life is very nice, so let's be peaceful here. This is what normal person thinks. Finally, Bharata, he takes leave of Bharadwaja and he proceeds further. And Bharadwaja, what he does is he also now it seems that Bharata was not in a proper mood, that therefore he did not even introduce his mothers and so on. Later Bharadwaja realizes this. He tells that you come, you show me your mothers and so on. So that's when Bharata introduces the three queens also to Bharadwaja. Why this line is highlighted is Bharata was not in that state of mind to do anything. In fact, he forgets. Basic now, say for example, from our house or so, you have a group of people who come in. We have the habit of maybe introducing, right? Oh, this is so and so, this is so and so. So that's just good ethics. But still, Bharata, it's not that he did not know about all this, but in that state of mind, awe and dukkha, sorrow, and he had just one goal that was set to bring back Rama. Beyond that, he did not think about anything. So when continuously he had this thought in mind, he forgot all these basic things to be done. Next, Bharata proceeds to Chitrakuta. They reach Chitrakuta. Then you have the description of the place. Again, Sarga 93, 94, 1 or 2 sargas are dedicated only for the description of nature in Chitrakuta. What kind of birds are there, flora, vegetation, animals, and so on. Finally, now Chitrakuta was there inside the forest. The place was very big. So now how can they find? So at some distance, the army, they see some smoke. Now when smoke is there, that means maybe food or something is being cooked or fire is being burnt for domestic purposes. So that's where they find out that maybe Rama is living in that place only. Meanwhile, what happens is Rama, I told you, right, 2 or 3 sargas are there describing about Chitrakuta. 94, 95, Chitrakuta and Mandakini, that is river Ganga flowing nearby. So how the Chitrakuta mountain is there and the Mandakini river surroundings. So nature around this place is described in detail by Rama himself. Now, this chart, what it does is it shows a difference, or you can say what were the qualities, or you can just the characters of Kaikeyi and Bharata has been highlighted. Kaikeyi, very short term attitude, meaning mantra, that is over a night mantra came, influence, changed her mind. Immediately she asked those 2 boons without thinking about the consequences in future, and now she was repenting. Then she lost the power of discrimination, that is she did not know what is right, what is wrong. Then on bad advice given by Manthara, she did evil things. Then she created, in fact she changed the world altogether. Everyone, till the previous night, everyone was very happy thinking about the coronation of Rama, but in the course of one day things changed completely. And then ultimately what happened is she was disowned, nobody even tried to look at her, she was disrespected everywhere, she was ignored by everyone. So ultimately it brought to her own downfall. In the case of Bharata, principles and character, which we have already seen. Then how much ever people told, even when Bharadwaja himself offered him a throne, Bharata did not accept that. This shows how firm he was. Then there were all kinds of temptations, offers, positions. Vasishtha told him to accept the kingdom. Kaikeyi had fought for him to get back the kingdom. Then Bharadwaja also gave him a lot of hospitality. This, that, everything was being done. So Bharata was tempted and offered many things from all sides. If he wanted, he could have accepted, but still Bharata was very strong in his dharma. He did not accept anything. And even after being such a good person, even after being such a very, you can say, a follower of dharma, ultimately Bharata had to end up explaining himself and saying that I am not evil, I don't want the kingdom. If you remember the instance when Bharata and Shatrughna were coming from Kekeya Desha to Ayodhya, I told you that nobody was there on the roads, and when they saw Bharata and Shatrughna coming on the chariot, they tried to close their doors. In fact, Ayodhya was a city where doors were never closed. That is, nobody had the fear of stealing or thieves and so on. But it was the first time, it seems, that people closed their doors because they did not want to see Bharata. Bharata does not understand this. Later, of course, he realizes why people did that, because of Kaikeyi's actions. Next, what we get to learn from the character of Bharata is not to be swayed by raga. Raga is nothing but passions and distractions. Everyone tried to tell him, everyone tried to blame him. His own mother gave him the kingdom. In spite of getting everything, he refuses. Next, there is no place for any question or doubt. Now in all the instances that we saw, whatever Bharata did now, there is no place to question anything, right? We don't have any doubt why Bharata did this. Was it correct? Was it wrong? You don't have the question of what is wrong at all. It is only correct. What he did is 100% correct. He did it very clearly. So he was, whatever he did, he justified it very nicely. And next, the importance of this is seen later, because till date we remember Bharata as Dharma Purushaha. Even though you remember Rama, Lakshmana and everyone else, Bharata till date is remembered for his character and for the behavior that he showed at this situation, wherein if he wished he could have accepted everything, but he doesn't do that. And then at the same time he had the power of discrimination. He knew what is right, what is wrong, and let anything happen. Even if he had to abandon his own mother, still he stuck to what was right at any cost. So this is the character of Bharata. So Subhashita on this: Rago naam manashtashyam gunadravina taskaraha rahur vidya shashankasya tapovana hudashanaha. So desire is something. Desire here is ragaha. It can also be kamaha. Okay. Here it means ragaha. It says it is something which drills our mind. It hurts it. Because of that we lose all our good qualities. It is like the Rahu. During eclipse, just as Rahu covers up the sun or moon, similarly our wisdom is covered by desires, and it is the fire. If we are doing a lot of tapasya, we are putting in efforts, and whatever we do, we lose our focus because of desires and distractions. So it is very, very dangerous. We have to always be careful. So these are all basically life lessons for all of us from each character of Ramayana, what we get to learn, that can be seen. So through the character of Bharata, it is being very firm in what we do, not getting distracted at all. Let anything happen anywhere in the world, I will not be distracted. Next, in the Mahabharatam you have नास्ति विद्या समं चक्षुः नास्ति सत्य समं तपः नास्ति राग समं दुःखं नास्ति त्याग समं सुखं. Then education, there is no better eye. So basically this is a comparative Subhashita. Then more than penance, there is no satya. The greatest penance is honesty, satya. Then greatest dukkha is greed, or you can say desires, over desires. Always remember this. And there is no greater happiness than dhanam, sacrificing, charity, and so on. This verse comes in the Mahabharata. Manusmriti: Vritam shariramutssrijya kashtaloshthasamam kshitau vimukha bandhava yanti dharmastamanu. Just 1 second, hold on. Okay, so from the Manusmriti, what exactly is dharma? The qualities of dharma have been spoken. So what is that? Once the dead body leaves, relatives also leave a person. Nobody is going to follow us after that. So what exactly will follow you is, people are not going to remember how much ever physically also you put in efforts. People are not going to remember how fat you were, how beautiful you were, how handsome you were. Oh, look how her eyes were, look how his legs were, look how gym body man he was. Nobody is going to remember all this. But the qualities that we have, people till date we remember. This is out of our own experience, right? He was very good. He used to always speak the truth. He always did some good work. We remember people because of the qualities and the mental strength that they have, not because of their physical attributes, right? Mritam shariram utsrijya, that is once a person dies, next minute onwards we call that person a body, right? Bharya bibhyati tasmin kale. Bhajagovindam Shankaracharya gives a reference. Bharya bibhyati tasmin kale. One's own wife also dreads her husband's body, it seems, after death. Now here just an example of a wife is given. It can be for anyone, right? Now how much ever maybe we lose our own parents, our own partner, our own grandparents, our own children, whatever it is. Maybe till, say for example, one's own grandfather passed away. He was my grandfather as long as life was there inside him. Now once life has gone away, once that person is dead, though I regard him as my grandfather, doesn't mean that I can keep the body of my grandfather for years together, right? We cannot do that. Next minute onwards, even I know that he's very close to me and so on, still I'll also start now. People ask, right, when is the body going to be taken? When is the priest going to come? So we also tell, yes, the body will be taken. I don't say that, no, my grandfather will be taken to the crematorium. Do we say that? No. We say, no, the body will be taken. So this is the truth of life that is there. So same thing, even Manusmriti also gives a reference, just as Shankaracharya tells in Bhajagovindam, that relatives also, they will leave the body just as dry wood is left or a lump of mud is left. So therefore we have to be very, very careful. Yes, Ravi Shankarji.
Yeah, I was learning Tattvabodham. In Tattvabodham, they say only because of this Atma, it is called Sakshi Chaitanyam. That's why the moment you die, the soul leaves your body. Okay, so after that, it's only a body. So
Correct.
as long as soul is in there in your body, everything, all respect, everything you will get. The moment
Correct.
soul goes off, it is simply a body.
Body.
There is
Right.
no relevance in it.
Correct.
That's what Tattvabodham is called.
Correct, correct. So, Tattva Bodham also a very, very beautiful text. Those who get a chance in life, you must always read it. Tattva Bodham, it is, you can, how you call it, I think it is also by Shankaracharya only, right? If I'm not wrong.
It is
Yes,
a relationship
Yes.
between Jiva, Jagat and Iswara. All the
Correct,
three.
correct.
Relationship.
So you must, like, though sometimes people feel that it is a bit too philosophical or so, but then it has to be read at least once in a lifetime. It takes a lot of time to understand that, but yes, through easy principles also very beautifully Shankaracharya has portrayed. So like that, Manusmriti also speaks on the same lines. So it can be any text for that matter. The gist is the same. So the point here is, let's not get too philosophical. The thing that has been told is, a person is known by the qualities that he has. A person is known by the good things that he does. Nobody is going to remember you for your body, physical body, and so on. So here you might argue, does that mean that I should not take care of myself? Does that mean that I should not fulfill my desires? You should do it. Of course, now, if you have to have good qualities, or if you have to do something good in life, obviously you should have very good health. If you don't have physical body, physical strength, you cannot do anything, right? But then it is everything. Now when all these examples of philosophy is being told, always remember that it is on the excess side. That is wherein we put in a lot of effort. Say for example, now every day you take a bath. All of us, we take a bath. Now when you take bath, what you need soap, you need water, right? Now beyond this, there are few people, what they do is, they'll take a bath for 1 hour, they sit and they take a bath, right? And what exactly they do, they themselves know. You have a soap, you have a body wash, you have a shower gel, this, that, like this. There are different things that are being told. So this is what is getting excessive. Taking a bath is something very basic. Then one more example, say for example, it can be clothes. Now clothes, all of us, we have a lot of clothes to wear. I have 10 clothes, everything is good. That doesn't mean that we end up wearing torn clothes or old clothes. 10 new clothes, 10 new pairs of clothes are there, but still what we do, we buy 100 pairs of clothes. So this is the excessive side. So this is what all this philosophy, be it Manusmriti or Tattva Bodha or any books that we talk about, or Ramayana itself, whenever it says desires, raga, or raga in this context is desires, kama and so on, it has to, everything talks on the excessive side. That is, when things go excess, what happens is we spend a lot of time only thinking about that. Instead of 10 clothes, if you have 100 clothes, it takes a lot of time, right? You open the cupboard, up from down you see what should I wear today. In that you spend half an hour goes in deciding what to wear. And ultimately we jump to a conclusion, I don't have anything, right? And then we end up buying more. So this is what happens when things keep increasing, life gets more complicated, and that's when we spend a lot of time being engrossed in that only, and there is no time for doing all other things, developing qualities and so on. So therefore, focusing on one's own physical body, taking care of one's own body is very, very important, but that doesn't mean that you put in a lot of efforts unnecessarily, like being, I told you, taking a bath or excessive clothes and so on. It ultimately just leads, we spend a lot of time in things. You're going to wear only one pair of cloth, then in deciding, it takes a lot of time. In managing, organizing and everything, a lot of time goes in. So that's where we are wasting a lot of time. Next, na mutra hi sahayartham pita mata chatishtataha na putra dara na jnatihi dharmastishtati kevalaha. So in the other world also, because our dharma believes in life after death also, he says that in the next world what is going to happen is, none of your relations or your things or your money, none is going to come along with you, nobody is going to help you, but what you will carry, the fruits, that is a phalam of your own karma, of your own dharma, that only you are going to carry. So therefore you must obtain that. So if you have got this human birth also, that is because of our good previous karma, previous actions that we did. So the same thing here, it is being told. Now why this has been told is, now for, say for example, human lifespan is 100 years. For this 100 years, so and so is my father, so and so is my mother, so and so is my relations and so on. Next birth, if I am born as a human being also, I will have a new set of people, right? So in this context, if you think things are quite temporary, so don't focus totally on that. Now here again you have to note one thing, doesn't mean that okay, no, this the parents or my friends who are going to have it's only for a few years, right? Only in this birth, so let me just ignore them. It doesn't mean in that way. Of course, we have to care, we have to think about them, you have to be affectionate, spend time with them, all that is there. But again, you see, like the example that I always give you. Again, if you take the example of Shankaracharya's Bhaja Govinda, बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीसक्तः वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः परसे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सक्तः. Shankaracharya gives a very beautiful example saying that how life slips away from our life, from our hands. Balastavat kridasaktaha. Childhood is wasted in playing, or you spend time in playing. Tarunastavat taruni saktaha. In youth, we are passionate, we are attracted towards people, things and so on. Life is wasted. Vriddhastavat chinta saktaha. And in old age, tensions, worries. Parase brahmani kopina saktaha. When is the time that you are going to think about brahmani, the reality? That is, when is the time you are going to spend in doing something good? Life has just passed on this way. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't have to do your duties. Now, till you're a parent or so, it is your duty to take care of your child. But then the next step, grandchild is born, still you're thinking, no, now my son is done, you're still worrying about the grandchild. Now, it is but obvious that we have feelings, we need to worry, we have to think about our grandchild, but the intensity should be less. Then why is your son? If you only end up doing everything, then what will your son do, right? So now let the son do his parental duties. So that is where little we have to withdraw ourselves. Or maybe one more example, chinta saktaha vriddhastavat. In old age, when we have a lot of property, lot of cars, this, that, automatically tensions come. When will I get that from here? I have some due spending, this and that. So somewhere there should be a line that has to be drawn, and we have to control. It doesn't mean that we should not have savings also, you should not have property, you should not have assets. All that is very, very important. But somewhere I should know that yes, I'm satisfied, I'm contented. Now let me spend my time. 60, 70 years of my life, I've done things, I've attained something with the grace of the Lord. Let me make the best of it. Let me enjoy how much ever I can. I've already enjoyed many things. Now let me spend time little knowing about reality. This is what is told. From Hitopadesha also you have Suhrit Bhedaha, is one division. जलबिन्दुनिपातेन क्रमशः पूर्यते घटः सहेतुः सर्वविद्यानां धर्मस्य च धनस्य च. Now here the importance of knowledge, wealth and doing good things has been told. Now if you keep a pot under a tap and you maybe drop by drop the water keeps falling from the tap, it might take time, but one fine day at one particular time the pot is going to be filled. Similar is knowledge, right? So slowly our knowledge keeps increasing. It will take time, but still it increases. Wealth also, we put in continuous efforts, slowly we keep accumulating it, and that's how at one particular stage we have a lot of wealth. Next is even doing good deeds, good karma. When the results of that, today I do something good, I have to get the results today. It doesn't happen that way. Slowly you keep doing things. Everything is a slow process, but be patient, you will surely get the results of this. Just as Krishna also says, karmanyevadhikarasye ma phaleshu kadachana. That is, you keep doing efforts, don't think about the fruits, but then results are surely going to come. Next, so with this, basically now why all these verses from the Manusmriti, from the Hitopadesha, Mahabharata, in general a Subhashita, why it has been included is to stress upon the qualities of dharma that is there, how great Bharata's personality and character was, that in spite of situations that were not there in his hands, or in fact he himself had not done anything, still he had put in lot of efforts. He knew what he was doing, he was very firm in what he did. So this is how this shows the character of Bharata, and that's the reason why till date we remember Bharata as Dharma Purushaha. Next you have Sarga 96. Finally, one second. Yeah. So here we saw 95, right? Yes. Sarga 94-95 is a description of Chitrakuta told by Rama. Next, Sarga 96, finally all the entire army has reached, and Lakshmana from a long distance, Rama, he listens to some sound, and he asked Lakshmana, what is this sound coming? Maybe it's a forest or so, you have some attack from a wild animal, so let us take care of our own safety. So that is the reason he asks Lakshmana that you see what is happening. Lakshmana, he watches carefully and he informs that it is Bharata's army. Now, how he could know this? It seems that from now there are some references. It says that from a far distance, Lakshmana climbed a tree. He could see Bharata himself. There are another references which tell that Bharata could see the flag of the Surya Vangsha, and that's how he knew that the army from Ayodhya is approaching them. He goes and tells this to Rama, and Lakshmana is now, his anger has got no bounds. He tells that this Bharata and his mother, they have banished us from the kingdom. That is not enough, that now he has come to the forest also all the way in order to kill us. And he tells Rama also that you will not stop me. I tell you today, and I want a promise from you that you will not stop me at all. I vouch to kill Bharata today. And then Rama tries to pacify him, but Lakshmana has lost his mind. More than lost his mind is, he is in that anger, he doesn't know what he's speaking. Next, Rama, he tries to pacify and cool down Lakshmana. He tells that you don't jump to conclusions very fast. This is your habit. You get angry very fast. This is your nature. Don't do that. We don't know the reality till date. And he tells that Bharata is a Dharma Purushaha. You still don't know how exactly Bharata's character is. And he tells, now they don't know the news of Dasharatha's death. So Rama tells, why you want to think in a negative way that Bharata is coming to attack us and kill us? You think in a good way that maybe our father himself has come to meet us, and let us consider that all good things are going to happen and rejoice that we are meeting our family after a long time, so let's feel happy for that. Finally, Bharata also, he tells his army that somewhere away from the hermitage you park, that is, you let us stop, let's not go to the end of the hermitage, and then let's go walking further. पितः सत्यं प्रतिश्रुत्य हत्वा भरतमागतं किं करिष्यामि राजेन सापवादेन लक्ष्मण. So then Rama further, he tries to pacify Lakshmana. He tells that you want to kill Bharata, but then what is the use? And how I have promised my father that whatever he has told me, I'm going to make it true. But what should I do with the kingdom that I get after killing Bharata? There is no use, right? So yadravyam bandhavanam va mitranam va kshaye bhavet naham tat pratigrinhiyam bhakshan vishakritaniva. He says that I will never accept wealth that I get by killing someone or maybe causing harm to someone. Like this is equal to as if food being mixed with poison. That's the reason why you see even in our everyday life also, like sometimes what happens is maybe in our own family we have some issues, right? Like say for example some property issues or maybe some money issues that come in. So most of us now, when especially you see when money issues come or wealth distribution, property, at that time we have conflicts with your own brothers, own siblings, own children also for that matter, right? And each one of us is like this. This is human nature. Now say for example there is a father, there are two children. Father will say 50-50, right? But once the father goes away, maybe he has not returned anywhere a will or so, obviously the children are going to fight. So maybe the son, there's a son, both sons are there, they'll say 50-50. But then maybe one person, maybe the house is not returned in someone's name or so, so he'll say no, I'll stay here. Other will say no, I'll stay here. Like this, something or the other comes in. And you see in 99% of the cases, very obvious decision will be 50-50, but nobody comes to that 50-50, right? One party will always know, I want more, my father one fine day had told me that you will get more, something they come. So usually it happens this way only. So at that time what happens is, it is the same brother with whom we have spent our childhood, we have lived all our life. Maybe out of 100 people, maybe 2 or 3 people will think that it's okay, let me give up, there is no use of fighting and maybe breaking our relationships and causing harm to our relationships. Instead of that, let my brother take whatever he wants, I am happy with whatever I have, right? This happens out of 100, this is only 2 or 3% that happens. So Rama tries to highlight the same thing. He says that forcefully taking something with someone and breaking relationships, causing troubles, now he says that I might get the share of my kingdom, but what is the use, right? That maybe I lose the bond with him, and maybe in this case if I have to even kill him, then there is no use of getting such a kingdom. Lifelong I'll be repenting and regretting on that. Instead of that, I don't want anything. I will live peacefully in the forest. So these are few things which are quite related to our own life. But the thing is, not all of us are Rama, therefore we don't see this commonly. But yes, out of us also, out of 100 people, 2 or 3 people, we have this attitude, right? It's okay even if I get little less, but let the relationship survive. Because that is the reason why we have to be very, very careful in money matters, property matters, or maybe division of wealth that takes place, because it can lead to a lot of problems. Because when it comes to money or wealth being distributed, automatically even the closest person, one's own son, one's own father, one's own siblings also raise their eyebrows. We don't know from where it comes, because everyone wants their share, right? And that's where problems come in. Years together the issue goes about. So Rama here tries to highlight that at some point of time it's always better that you give up. It's okay even if you don't get anything, or in fact if you get little less, but still always maintain the bond that is there, because later in future you will regret. Even though you have got everything, maybe you don't have people now, you don't have good bonds, you don't have good relationships, so there is no use of getting such wealth. So it's always better that let us give up. Now in the case of Rama is lucky that he was blessed with a brother like Bharata. Let us call it that way, because Bharata is not going to do anything that Rama is thinking. That Rama is explaining everything to Lakshmana, that it's okay, even if he wants a kingdom, let it be. There is no use for me forcefully taking after killing him and so on. In the case of Bharata, he was not at all like that. In fact, he had a very good intention of taking back Rama to Ayodhya. नेयं मम मही सौम्य दुर्लभा सागराम्बरा न हिच्छेयमधर्मेण शक्रत्वमपि लक्ष्मण. He tells Lakshmana that if I want, I can get I'm a great person also. Now here, it's not that Rama is being proud about himself, but then he says that if I want, I can do, because I've learned archery, I've learned all the vidyas, everything I know, right? Maybe on that day also, when Dashratha told me, or when Kaikeyi told me to go, if I wanted, I could have fought, right? I could have asked for justice, but I did not do that, because I don't want to even attain Swarga, that is Indrahood, the king of gods. That padam also I don't want to attain by unrighteous means. That is by maybe killing someone or forcefully asking someone to give something. There is no use of getting such things, so I don't want this at all. Yadvina bharatam, यद्विना भरतं त्वाञ्च शत्रुघ्नं चापि मानद भवेन्मम सुखें किञ्चित् भस्म तत्कुरुतां शिखी. And further he tells that if there is still some happiness which I can experience by myself without you, Bharata and Shatrughna, I don't want that at all. Let it be reduced to ashes. So this was the amount of love and affection that Rama had towards his brothers. विप्रियं कृतपूर्वं ते भरतेन कदानु किम् ईदृशं वा भयं तेद्य भरतं योऽत्र शङ्कसे. Now Rama is little confused and he asks Lakshmana that why are you so suspicious of Bharata? Why do you have such an evil feeling towards him? Has he done anything wrong with you in the past? And so on. Katham nu putra pitaram hanyuf kam syachidaapadi bhrata va bhrataram hanyat saumitre pranamatmanaha. Whatever. And further Rama explains that he tells Lakshmana, let anything happen, whatever be the problem, still how will one's own son kill their father? Or maybe one's own brother, how can he kill his brother? He cannot do all this, right? So maybe there can be issues or fights or arguments that come in, but how can we even think of maybe killing people, killing our own parents or brothers and so on. Finally, Bharata comes, and now still the army they are still searching. They just see smoke coming from somewhere. So they are searching the entire hermitage, where Rama is, where the smoke came in, and so on. And finally, Bharata, he spots the hermitage of Rama. And when he sees, he tells everyone about the love and respect that he has for Rama, and he tells all of them to search for Rama. Yavanna Ramam drakshami Lakshmanam va mahabalam Vaidehim cha mahabhagam name shantir bhavishyati. Rama says that I will not be in peace till I see Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. Yavanna chandra sankasham drakshami shubhamananam bhratuf padma palashaksham name shantir bhavishyati. He says I will not attain peace till I see my brother, whose countenance, that is whose appearance is like shining as the moon, and whose eyes are like padmam, lotus petals. So very handsome personality to look at. यावन्न चरणौ भ्रातुः पार्थिवव्यञ्जनान्वितौ शिरसा धारयिष्यामि न मे शान्तिर्भविष्यति. He says, I will not be in peace until I surrender and fall at the feet of my brother. यावन्न राज्ये राज्यारः पितृपैतामहे स्थितः अभिषेकजलक्लिन्नो न मे शान्तिर्भविष्यति. I will not be in peace till the coronation of Rama is done, till he takes the Rajyapadam of Ayodhya. Further, Bharata finally, he meets Rama in Sarga 99. So Bharata, Shatrughna, they reach a place wherein they see the signs, they see the presence of Rama as guided by Bharadwaja. And Bharata finally sees Rama and Sita, and he laments because he sees them in that orange sadhu clothes, and he feels very bad. मन्निमित्तमिदं दुःखं प्राप्तो रामः सुखोचितः दिग्जीवितं नृशंसस्य मम लोकविगर्हितम्. And once he sees them from a far off distance, he feels very bad. He laments and he says that because of me, Rama is there today in this condition, and that is fear. He doesn't know what to do. He says, my life is so cruel and so on. दुःखाभितप्तो भरतो राजपुत्रो महाबलः उक्त्वा रेति सकृद्दीनं पुनर्नोवाच किञ्चन. He could not speak. He was overpowered with emotions. He just falls at the feet of Rama and, O Arya, Aryas, O Aryaputra, just as Aryaputra, a great king. Also, Arya was a term usually which women used to call to address their husbands, Aryaputra. So, Arya is like a king or a royal person, and he could not say anymore. He didn't have any words. बाष्पैर्पिहितकण्ठश्च प्रेक्ष रामं यशस्विनम् आर्येत्येवाभिसङ्कृष्य व्याहर्तुं नाशकत्ततः. His throat was choked, he cried out and he was unable to speak. शत्रुघ्नश्चापि रामस्य ववन्दे चरणौ रुदन् ताबुभौ समालिङ्ग्य रामश्चाशून्यवर्तयत्. Shatrughna also surrendered at the feet of Rama, and both of them they embrace each other. So Rama questions to Bharata, Kashchit Sargaha. Why Kashchit Sargaha? Because in this sarga, now all of you, it is my request to you, try to read this sarga in original Sanskrit. I'll try to share the text. Kashchit, this verse is asked. Kashchit is nothing but certain. Certain. Kashchit, or how we say in Hindi, shayad, right? It is somewhat similar to that. And in this sarga, more than 72 times, as you see, the word kashchit has been used, and at the same time, now the general meaning is kashchit, that is certain, and why in other, you can say in other context why it is used. So that is one reason why, because the word kashchit has been used numerable times, the sarga gets the name of Kashchit Sargaha. Another reference is this sarga is so great because it talks about royal duties. Rama questions everything to Bharata. How is the kingdom? How are you functioning? Because Bharata was to be made the king. So he questions him just as an elderly person would do. Is everything well? And so on. So therefore this sarga is very, very important. Sarga 100 of Ayodhya Kandam, Kashchit Sargaha. You must read.
Kashchit Targa means exactly what meaning?
Kashchit Sargaha is, it is like, because mainly the word Kashchit is repeated mainly in this, like many times this word is repeated, about 72 times it has been mentioned. So that's how the sarga gets the name Kashchit Sarga. That's it.
So Kashchit has got any meaning?
Kashchit is, in normal language it means certain, CERTAAR. So Kashchit Gramaha, Kashchit Manushyaha, we say. It means a certain man, a certain village. That is the meaning. But here mainly because the word is being repeated twice. Now say for example, I'll give you a very simple example. How we keep nicknames for people, right? So say for example, now say to me also, maybe my behavior is something, or maybe I keep using the same word also at times. So maybe all of you, what you will do, like especially all this happens in school or college, right? In our young days, we name our teachers also that way, or maybe people around, or a particular friend we name. Maybe say for example, he's very tall or so, you tease him, you call him by a particular name. Or if a person is very fat, or maybe a person keeps speaking in a particular way, then we keep that name to him, and so on. So the same thing for this sarga also, because the word is being used many times. That's how the sarga only came to be known by this name. And this is why an important sarga, because it talks about the importance of governance also. Very simple, it's just a normal simple inquiry that is being done by Rama to Bharata, but the principles of Rajya Dharma are told, Raja Dharma have been told in detail here. So this is, now today time is up, but still you can just have a look at this. We'll look at all this in detail. How is the kingdom going on? How are you respecting people? Are you asking the advice of wise counselors? Is law prevalent? Is everyone having proper jobs or so? Is the economy growing? Is urban development taking place? There are different traps that are there. So this sarga 100, verse by verse, we will look at that next time. Okay. So it is not there in this slides that are there, but with the original book, I will tell you the meaning of each verse we will look at in detail. So this is, like, you can consider a gist of this sarga.
That is 100th sarga, is it?
Yes, 100th sarga Ayodhya Kandam. Okay. So those who have the books, you can read it for yourself. We'll also look at this in detail next time. Okay. So with this, today time is up. We will stop
One
here.
more thing, Lakshmi,
Yes.
you said Dharma Purusha, and we know Rama as the Maryada Purusha.
Maryada
What about
Purusha.
Lakshmana and Shatrughan?
Lakshmana
What
and
are their-
Shatrugna, they are Bhagavatas. Both of them are called as Bhagavatas. That is, they were born to serve two people. So people who are usually serve Bhagavatottamas, they are called. Both Lakshmana and Shatrugna. So Lakshmana was born to serve Rama, and Shatrugna was always at the service of Bharata. So they are, in general, they are called as Bhagavatottamas. Rama is Maryada Purushottama and Bharata Dharma Purusha. Okay. Okay.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
today we will stop here.